There's a big chamber to the right. I see it, with mummies. Are you breathing slowly? We might not have enough oxygen.
That's fabulous, fabulous. They were put here for eternity, and we enter their eternity, and we're going to interrupt it.
You never know what you'll find, and often what we find is much more interesting than what we had imagined. That one is very beautiful. It's very good. Well, that's it. It's coming. It's coming. Go on.
It's the first time in my life that I open a viscera box that's intact and made of wood. But it doesn't stop there. It has only just begun.
"7 a.m., 30 kilometers to the south of Cairo. Christiane Ziegler's team is back in Saqqara. At the foot of the oldest of the pyramids, the Pyramid of Djoser. We are at the source of civilization. Christiane Ziegler, her assistant, Jean-Pierre Adam, and Marie-Françoise de Rossière, conservator at the Louvre Museum. They've been waiting many months for this moment, because the 14th excavation campaign that starts today promises to be exceptional. Job candidates gather at the entrance to the site. Most of them work here every year.
Is it a family?
Yes. It's a reunion. It's been the same people for 10 years. We get to know and appreciate each other.
There were collapses, the whole corner there fell. This piece of wall, we hadn't seen it.
It feels like it rained too. Because there are small traces in the sand.
First, it needs cleaning, because the wind brought in souvenirs from tourists' picnics. There are a few thousand of plastic bags that landed in the hole. Clearly, it's an interesting refuge.
It's there since November. We left, but it was well watched. Nothing has moved.
And since it's very sheltered, all the dogs in the desert come and lodge in this big interesting niche. There's sand everywhere, so they dig holes and do considerable damage.
Site cleaning and hiring workers. This is the job of Salah, who's in charge of the excavations on the Egyptian side.
Don't worry, we only need 20 people today. But I'll call you when the excavations begin.
First week starts. The workers, whose number will soon reach 100, must remove several meters of sand in the southern part of the site. Under their feet are the ruins, some of which date back to the most ancient periods of pharaonic Egypt.
3,000 years of antiquity, over 10 meters thick, plus 8 centuries of the Middle Ages. It's one of the rare places in Egypt. It has the whole history of Egypt, up to the Muslim era, on such a narrow site.
We're going to set up our dining room.
On top of her conservation work, Marie-Françoise takes care of practical sides of the search. She's been working in Egypt for over 20 years.
Yes, I speak and write Arabic. You have to. I've lived in Egypt for so long that, you know, I'm half Egyptian by now. I'm half Egyptian, right?
Totally.
The installation is barely finished. No more than an hour after the start of work, there's the first discovery. Funeral jewelry. It's a real stroke of luck to find one of this quality and a good sign for the future.
It's huge, huge. It's a pectoral. A piece of jewelry that you wear on your chest. It's magnificent. It's very rare. It's the first time we've seen this. It's extremely rare, splendid.
What's so rare about it?
Well, it's such a big pendant and it has this decor. It's very ancient. And I think there are inscriptions.
That is to say, in the Greek period?
Cleopatra's time.
Earthenware is very fragile. What we mean by earthenware is Egyptian earthenware. Because it has nothing to do with the earthenware we have. And it's extremely fragile. Everything is cracked. And the interior is quite heterogeneous.
So, now that it's resurfaced,
We could possibly see it completely deteriorate in an instance. You have to be careful. It's a necklace, and we call it a pectoral because it's worn on the chest. It's a pendant. It's a lucky charm. Look at me, I have it too. You see, it's the Eye of Horus.
Originally placed in a tomb at a depth of several meters, it was probably exhumed in antiquity by tomb looters. They lost it then in the sand or abandoned it. Another important figure at the excavation site is the rais.
does Rais mean chief?
It means chief. It actually means head. The head of state in Egypt is also called the rais. He supervises the workers. In fact, he is a specialist. The rais we've been working with for the past 3 years is part of a dynasty of raises. It's a profession that is passed on from father to son. To lead such a large team, you really have to be vigilant and at the same time keep your cool. There are moments of great excitement when we discover something, and it's important to quickly calm things down. And I really appreciate that.
As the first day nears the end, the first wells emerge. They are several meters deep and lead to the ancient Egyptian tombs. The next day is Friday, day off in Muslim countries. So we meet again in the early morning on Saturday. At the foot of the Saqqara site stands the hotel where the team is staying. It is 6 a.m. Egyptian specialty ushebti, that is to say, village bread. It's been part of the charm of this month of excavations. On their way to breakfast, archaeologists stop at the baker's house. The team is now almost complete.
You have to be early to do archaeology.
It really is one of the pleasures of the day to start with this freshly baked bread that comes out of an old-fashioned oven.
Christiane, photographer at the Louvre Museum. Natalie, mission designer, and Cecile, the second conservator. Cecile and Natalie take part in the excavation for the first time. That's why this morning Jean-Pierre will show them around the site. On site, it's the start of serious things. These workers are breaking a concrete slab, under which lies one of the wells discovered during the last mission.
It goes down 14 meters. Yes, it is an important well. There is a kind of rule that is not systematic. But the higher the person is in the social hierarchy, the deeper his tomb is. Athotep's goes down to 22 meters, it's like doing acrobatics, it's almost the height of a mountain. That one's already 14 meters, not bad. While the small wells of the servants are 2 to 5 meters, some reach 7 meters, it's quite rare. And often they overdug because the ground was already encumbered by other graves. So another level had to be found in which a cellar could be built.
2 hours later,
Attention, let's go.
the concrete slab is removed.
11 meters exactly. We put 3 meters of sand at the bottom. The rock is 14 meters away.
A concrete slab, plus a grate, plus 3 meters of sand. These are security measures against antiquities thieves. As soon as the sand comes up, we can go down to the grave. It is 10 a.m. The workers have just done a new discovery.
A child's sarcophagus. There are interesting little details. For example, you can see ankles here. Very often, these sarcophagi are made out of small pieces of wood attached together, obviously to the maximum of possibilities of carpenters. Very often, a small sarcophagus like this can be made out of 20 or even 30 small pieces of wood. They made this shape and softened it with a layer of clay. The face was sketched in the wood. Then they refined it, working with clay. They modeled it in clay.
A modest casket made of wood and earth. It is very sensitive to sunlight. That's why it's quickly put in the shelter. In one of the mission tents, Francis, a doctor and an Egyptologist, examines the mummies with his friend Pierre.
You have to have a lot of respect for these people whom we find, who basically lasted till our times, who have spent an eternity already. Because 2,500 years, I find that they've already spent an eternity, even if they have benefited from embalming and very modest mummification. I don't know if I'd be able to pass 2,500 years. So, yes. It does something to me, it affects me. And Pierre too. I think it affects a lot of people. That's why we're here.
Even more basic and even more fragile. A simple earth mask on the mummy's face.
They'll stay for half an hour.
Yes.
The color's in this condition.
That's why Marie-Françoise immediately applies a consolidating liquid. Like the previous one, this sarcophagus is from what is called the late period, the last centuries of pharaonic Egypt.
What is in front of me, this small mud brick structure with sloping walls, is a pyramidion, a miniature pyramid. The monument was so fascinating that everyone wanted to be entitled to the benefits of the pyramid, which is a symbolic stairway leading to the realm of the gods. Besides, it's also a sign of a complete change in mentalities. The pyramid reflected the ruler's absolute power throughout the Old and the Middle Kingdoms. And after that, the king is no longer this sacred character, unique to Egypt, the sole owner of Egypt, the only priest in Egypt. There is genuine democratization, a middle class is being born, it's proven by the quality of some of these sarcophagi. They're beautiful objects, not to be overlooked. And also this astonishing right to be able to build a monument in the shape of the royal tomb.
It's 10:30 a.m. It's mealtime for the workers. After which comes the opening of the first well.
Ready? Okay, going down.
A rope, feet in a basket, and a 14-meter descent.
It's impressive, isn't it?
Oh yes, it's very deep.
You close your eyes during the descent anyway.
To avoid having vertigo.
And you recite the prayers of your childhood, the ones you remember.
Often, the workers wish you good luck when you go down.
Slowly, slowly.
The tomb was opened at the end of the previous excavation campaign. This is how it looked when archaeologists discovered it.
There's an additional tomb on the right. It's inside that compartment that's called a loculi. There, we see a little mummy of child. Clearly, it's a very modest tomb.
Looters ravaged the tomb. It clearly happened in antiquity. At that time, thieves were already looking for jewelry under the bandages. That's why these mummies are displaced in this way.
Thankfully, in the layers below, there are mummies that have been protected by these. There are other burials that have been safe from looters. They didn't find them. We have covered them temporarily. Under it, we find superb wooden sarcophagi. Beautiful. They're similar to the ones on the other side. There's another one on the right. He too escaped the looters. A face that comes out of the sand. There's gilding on the face. It's a very good example of a sarcophagus of the late period. As you can imagine, when we see this type of object and this accumulation of mummies above it, we tend to want to accelerate the clearance time a bit. And yet, all of it deserves to be treated scientifically. Obviously, because this accumulation itself is also an important burial site.
The mummies were placed here at the end of ancient Egypt. The three sarcophagi, according to an inscription, are more ancient, dating to the 4th century BC. As for the well that leads here, it is over 4,000 years old. The Old Kingdom. Like elsewhere, this is a part of a funeral complex. Two large rectangular buildings, the mastabas, the tombs in the terminology of Egyptologists. A small corridor separates them. It leads to several funeral chapels, to which the living bring offerings to the deceased. Here lies the reason that we are here. The reason Christiane Ziegler chose to search at this location. The funeral chapel that we are entering is no longer in Saqqara. In 1903, it was dismantled and transported to Paris, to the Louvre Museum. It's that of Athotep, a doctor, magician, and senior official of the Old Kingdom. Christiane Ziegler wanted to know more about it. That's how it all started. Part of Athotep's treasures is now safe in a place with very restricted access. Sulla takes us there. He's just reported our arrival.
Here are brand new stores. They were opened last year.
At the entrance to the Saqqara site, there's a huge hangar.
It's quite well protected.
It is protected. It's very important. These are the reserves of the site. Basically, most of the objects that didn't go to the Cairo Museum are kept here.
20,000 objects are stored here.
It's an ancient discovery. It is in the spotlight. It's very exceptional. It's the only statue that has this emblem. That is the symbol of the goddess bat. She has a human head on the front, which is very rare in Egyptian art, and then little ears and cow horns. It was the insignia of judges in ancient Egypt. The viziers, prime ministers, the minister of the interior wore it too. It's a very, very special insignia.
And this insignia, of course, belongs to Athotep. The statue is of the Old Kingdom, just like its neighbor. They are approximately 4,400 years old.
We find the same text, but we can see it says Athotep here. We have all these titles here that are the same ones you can read in the Louvre. The titles which are somewhat obscure. A soul friend, that's a soul friend of the king, a ritualistic priest, the one who knows the texts. A mourning house administrator, that is to say someone close to the king. And then his name Athotep.
In the next room, there's a real treasure. These crates contain hundreds of objects discovered by the archaeologists of the world. Among them are that of the Louvre Museum team. Here are some of the most recent examples.
It's a real masterpiece. I don't know if you can see its transparency.
The ushebti, and a harem bird, divine protector, placed next to the deceased, first millennium before Christ. Or this funeral box.
There you go. Isis and Nephthys stand around this symbol, or one of the symbols of the god Osiris, who, as you probably know, was put to death by his brother. He was torn apart, body parts were thrown away, tossed all along the Nile Valley. And that's his wife and sister, goddess Isis, who, according to the legend, found the pieces, assembled them, and made the first mummy. Thanks to her magic, he could live again. And every deceased in Egypt wanted to be a new Osiris and enjoy the same destiny as Osiris. This is a summary of this legend.
The legend that is the origin of mummification and of the whole funeral practice of ancient Egypt. Back to the excavation site. This morning, the team is complete, and work can begin in the tomb with the golden sarcophagus. Hence, the installation of a big ladder to facilitate access to it. This is Guy Lacuyo. He's the one who found the harem bird and the funeral box.
It's still a building of 5 floors.
First day of a long and difficult job. Guy has 3 weeks to clear everything out. The aim, of course, is to access the 2 sarcophagi buried under the mummies. Rubber gloves and dust masks on. The mummies may contain very harmful fungi, reactivated by oxygen and the humidity when the tomb was opened. 15 square meters. It's about 30 degrees. So, it's hard work, but it yields some great rewards. Under the mummies, there are funeral masks.
These elements were forming a sort of helmet on the mummy. Like a mask on the mummy, actually. It covered the head all the way, front and back, and upper body. It was stuck on the mummy.
Adornment made of linen canvas coated with plaster. 1st century BC. Next to funeral masks, Guy discovers several lines of necklaces placed during the funeral on the chest of the mummies. A bit of consolidating liquid, and Marie-Françoise revives natural pigments.
Did this necklace have a particular meaning?
This necklace can be found everywhere, on the cartonnage, on the sarcophagi.
Several of these necklaces were found intact in the tombs. This one is in the Cairo Museum.
The rich people could afford to use hard stones. The class below used molten glass. And then the poorest, they had to make do with an image of the necklace simply painted on cartonnage to decorate mummies.
So I'm applying a humid paper towel. Then I stuff it with newspaper. So we are working in a field hospital. The eye was completely inside. The face was open. We're going to restore him.
There you go, it matches. It's just like the one we found.
It's day 3 of their work, and they are opening the other well discovered the previous year. It leads to 2 underground tombs. For safety, it too was filled with sand.
Ramadan is one of the best specialists in digging up villages, wells, and cleaning in the tombs. Ramadan and his friend Abdul Nabi. They take part in all discoveries. This year they will be served. So now you go down again to 1.50 meters.
To clear the passage, and we'll be able to go back to the tomb.
It's the end of the day, the well is clear, the way is open. Now it's necessary to secure the access to the tomb with the installation of this iron grid, in order to discourage antiquities thieves. The big moment is reserved for the next day. The archaeologists have been waiting for this moment for several months. The first ladder goes down 0.7 meters, after which you have to put another one in through a narrow opening.
Careful. We're almost there.
We're going to try not to fall.
An opening through which you must sneak in to access the vault. Another 3 meters, and Francis joins Jean-Pierre.
Go on and poof. He hasn't aged a bit. Yes, we're a little out of breath. Well, that's impressive.
It's fabulous, just fabulous.
Here, the burials are intact. The tomb was not looted, and it's exceptional. We are inside an underground gallery that is 11 meters long.
There's a little false door there. There, you can see the oculus.
The oculus, a tomb dug into the wall of the gallery. At the bottom of the gallery, there is a heap of mummies held by a huge sarcophagus.
He has a beautiful face, soft and sweet. It's quite astonishing. He has a neatly combed wig. The conventional decor with the protective goddesses, the identification text, the sons of Horus. These are the mats that may have been used to transport the bodies, that have been rolled up, even tied up. And the pots that contain products used for embalming and at the time of burial. The problem, of course, is going to be transporting and moving them.
Without breaking them. And being able to separate them, to understand how they intertwine with each other. Like in the game Mikado.
We are in their eternity.
Yes, they were put here forever and we enter their eternity. We're going to interrupt it.
Are we violating something?
In any case, the feelings are mixed. We have the scientific pleasure to find these tombs not violated, with their complete furnishings, and at the same time, they're human beings. One day will be like that, not as well cared for though. And they thought they were safe for millions of years, like the names of the temples of the kings of the new kingdom. And then here we come to break the clock.
The mummies and sarcophagi are between 2,000 and 2,500 years old. The gallery, on the other hand, is much older. It is over 4,000 years old. Here we are again under the Old Kingdom, at the source of pharaonic Egypt. We're going to stay here for a moment with Jean-Pierre. He'll introduce us to the greatest and the most prestigious neighbor of the excavation. The famous step pyramid built 1,600 years before Christ. Here it is with its 8 meters high limestone enclosure and its huge funeral complex. The name of its architect is Imhotep. His client, the first pharaoh of the Old Kingdom. We know his name, but not the way to pronounce it.
Do we say Djoser or Djeser?
As there are no vowels in Egyptian writing, we are in between. For example, King Pepi, if you read it correctly, it'll say Pepi. For reasons of political correctness, we prefer to say Pepi.
Don't look up, but at the foot of the pyramid, the first tomb can be seen there. It all started with it.
The first stone monument, the first major funerary monument in the history of mankind, is this first mastaba of King Djoser. It's obviously a very impressive monument.
What height was it at that time?
Its height was likely around 8 to 9 meters. It can be estimated due to this silhouette that you can still see in the rubble, smaller than those that make up the core of the pyramid.
And then you say to yourself it's too small.
That was exactly our reasoning. The funeral monument for eternity must also be a sign for eternity, so Imhotep thought of layering several mastabas. Even if that is not the real intention. If we shouldn't be using the word mastaba, it's still geometrically the superposition of the first mastaba.
Stacking of tombs?
First 4 superimposed mastabas that form the first pyramid with steps, considered to be insufficient by itself. And Imhotep finished the work by this pyramid in front of us, which has 6 successive layers. It's the divine staircase which allows access to the world of the sun.
How high is this pyramid?
It's about 60 meters. The Egyptians themselves were fully aware of the place that Imhotep occupied in their history and in history in general, because they canonized him in the later periods. There are statuettes of Imhotep that depict him as a god. He is the protector of knowledge, of writing and many other things, because he was remembered as a creator, an inventor of architecture.
It's an exceptional privilege. We're going down to the funeral chapel of King Djoser. Sabri Abdulaziz, the number 2 in Egyptian Antiquities, accompanies Jean-Pierre and Francis. Access strictly forbidden. The underground has been weakened by the latest tremors of the earth.
It's over 28 meters deep, because the well goes down 28 meters.
Yes, that's it.
Here we are, in front of the pharaoh's underground palace. The king is inside, and symbolically appears to visitors through the false doors of his funerary estate.
He is in a very light sports uniform. He already has a Syrian beard of a royal, and he has the upper Egyptian headdress. What's incredible is this very realistic imitation of a roll. It looks like a roll of mats with ropes around them that has been pulled up. The door is open and you can see the king. So here we go, we enter the palace. Inside, there's a new inscription with these same double titles. He is the king of Lower and Upper Egypt. Mind your heads here.
Inside, the walls were covered in Egyptian earthenware, imitating the reed mats that were used at the time to decorate the homes of the living.
As you see, focus here, you can see this relief here And the mortar can inhabit here. To put it on the wall just like this. Okay, put mortar and fix it with mortar and leave it like this. It will be fixed like this. Okay.
The first masterpiece of Egyptian architecture.
And a successful challenge of building a palace for eternity for King Djoser. We are inside it.
Is this for the ladder?
It's day 6, and the work in the Grand Gallery begins.
Oh, that's beautiful, magnificent.
The deceased's name was Penu. It's written on the sarcophagus.
There are traces of blonde here. It's salt. The land of Egypt used to be an ancient sea. There was salt everywhere here. We would like to know if he's in there. But hey, you have to stay professional and scientific. And so, you have to exercise a lot of patience and document everything before opening it.
The documentation, of course, involves photography. The gallery as it was discovered. Christian must grasp everything before archaeologists change the positions of the bodies and objects.
Should we, ideally, photograph around the corner?
Yes, you would need a corner device. How did we do it?
What is there to the left of the Grand Gallery? It's not very conclusive. Christian then decides to use a long articulated arm and to attach a small camera to it.
Let's unwrap it.
The device allows you to see without putting the mummies at risk.
In any case, I think with that, we'll have some data. Okay, that's fine.
We see things that we've never seen before anyway.
Look at the back to the right.
Is it masonry, that rock on the left?
It looks like rubble.
There's rubble on the right side of the screen in this slight recess. No doubt it's a door, another access to the gallery. That's what Jean-Pierre is looking for and the whole team hoping for. This would allow them to have direct access to these objects and to bring some of them to the surface.
Christiane, we have beautiful images to show you.
Indeed, it's an extraordinary accumulation. You can see it much better now. But all that's left is to find the door.
To sum it up,
And right the same afternoon, there simultaneously appear entrances to several wells. The door to the Grand Gallery is somewhere there, 10 meters below.
This density is surprising since there are two of them here, side by side. So we're going to have 4 wells on an 8-meter long strip. Which one goes down? 2 hour.
that one.
That's the bet we made.
The bet. It's that one.
With a bit of luck, 3 days of work, and we'll be down there.
And off we go. Very quickly, they extract huge stone blocks from inside the well. Gamal is called to the rescue.
When Gamal digs, it's a bit of an attraction.
Gamal?
Yes.
Yes, he's a real character on the excavation site, that's for sure.
Everyone's fascinated, all the workers stopped working to watch it.
To encourage it too. Besides, it's an important moment. Careful.
The stones, yes.
Enough.
The task is more complicated than Jean-Pierre had thought. It'll take 2 days to reinforce the upper part of the well before the digging can resume. It's Thursday evening, the end of the first week of excavations and pay day for the workers. Their weekly salary is 150 Egyptian pounds, or about 25 euros.
Every day, Marie-Françoise checks the absent and the present with Armel. And yesterday, we spent part of the afternoon calculating and verifying salaries. This is Catherine, who is the bank of this mission. And I make invoices for the certified accounting officer.
Most of the workers are peasants from the Nile Valley. Some, they are rare, are illiterate.
Mohammed Abdul Hakim, where's your seal?
That is the case with this man.
These are personal seals with their names. The person's 3 first names.
There were similar ones in ancient times. They even found some with a pharaoh's name. A small bonus for the old-timers, those who participated in the previous search.
Where are you?
The photo of the excavation site.
Look, Mohammed, you're there. Do you want a magnifying glass? Look at the photo.
It's Saturday morning. The week starts with a real event. There's an unusual atmosphere on site, a mixture of calm and tension. The search is nearly paralyzed. Everyone is preparing for the arrival of an important person.
Thanks, this is useful. It allows me to refine the size of the corners that we're going to sneakily insert between the lid and the body of the sarcophagus. Oh, I cut myself.
Today is the first opening of the sarcophagus. In a big company since the patron of Egyptian Antiquities himself has made the trip. Here's his convoy upon arrival. His name is Zahi Hawass, and he's a prominent figure in Egyptology.
Morning. Madam, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good to see you.
The discovery is very rare and very interesting. With his presence here, he wants to underline its importance.
Then you never opened
a sealed sarcophagus before?
Never. It's the first time of my life. It is very.
And what do you have? What will happen to your heart now? What you will feel now?
I am very moved.
We're opening the lid.
Gently.
The lid of the sarcophagus is sealed by the footbox.
It was assembled with dowels.
Yes,
No nails. In ancient Egypt, they used dowels and tenons.
that's it. You can see the feet. We couldn't have opened it without removing it.
There's the mummy inside.
As they say over there.
في يوم من الأيام لما تبقى سفيرة تعمل أي سبيتش في الدنيا. Let us hold it one as slowly.
It is intact.
Intact, yeah?
He's very big.
He's tall. He's taller than the culture counselor.
His arms are at the side of his body. It's very moving. It really is an amazing moment.
We are not disturbing the mummy. On the contrary, we learn from it. We learn about the life of the people of that time, about their funeral customs, mummification techniques in that period, which was 2,500 years ago, during the 26th dynasty.
Thank you.
Very pleasant to have you. Thank you for your visit.
Goodbye.
After the departure of Zihihawas, the sarcophagus is closed. The mummy stays inside. They restore the footbox that Jean-Pierre had to dismantle.
This goes here. There you go. It's like Lego. It's like Lego.
Marie-Françoise and Cécile are at work in the tomb.
They used glue. We have all the traces of glue that was here originally. So, they used natural gums, often gum arabic, because it's black. Gum arabic darkens, it oxidized. Of course, I want to add modern things, but everything is reversible.
These are important moments in the life of a conservator.
Well, listen, yeah, it's nice to be able to work in the tomb itself on the objects that have never been touched. Because in museums, for example, at the Louvre, almost all objects that we there have already been restored several times. And that's good to find an intact object. We'll put the barrels in the holes. And that's it. Done. It's closed.
In the evening, at closing time, the exhumed pieces are stored in a small warehouse near the excavation site. A few great finds from the past years are also preserved here, including inscribed stone blocks that are often found inside wells.
So behind you have a small fragment with stars, you see? And we know what that is. Just take a walk on the causeway that leads to the Pyramid of Unas. It's a piece of the ceiling. It's the starry sky.
To the south of the site, there is an ancient causeway now used by visitors. It used to start from the Nile Valley and lead to the Pyramid of King Unas. The Unas causeway used to be completely covered. A small part of it has been reconstructed.
You see the stars here too. They stand out on the blue background. The whole causeway, over 700 meters of it, had this type of architecture. It was invisible to the Egyptians. Only the priests' processions, funeral processions, passed through it.
We are under the Old Kingdom, 2,300 years before Christ.
That's King Unas himself. It is the only representation that we have on the site. You can see the hollowed-out eye there was enhanced by the green color. At that time, the king still wore green paint around the eyes.
The portrait is immediately covered in sand. Only Egyptologists know its location.
The sand protects it.
It does.
The entrance to the upper temple. Here, they worship the deceased pharaoh.
There are many columns here.
The most sacred place, the intimate temple, was leaning against the pyramid.
It's in pieces.
The columns were removed in later periods and reused in other buildings. So was the polished limestone that once covered the walls of the pyramid. There's practically nothing left of it. On the other hand, the interior is intact. These days it's completely closed to the visitors. The walls of the vault are top to bottom covered in inscriptions. It's a historical document, the oldest religious text that reached us.
This text that we call the text of the Great Departure reads, "Oh, King Unas, you did not leave dead, you left alive." And there's this whole program that'll take place which is described in a very old, archaic language, the vocabulary and grammar of which we haven't completely deciphered yet. And these are the various transformations the king goes through in order to finally achieve his divinization and to take his place among the gods, to take a seat in the sun boat.
The next morning is the seventh day of work, and there's a new highlight of this beginning of the excavations. The descent in the third tomb.
I have short legs. I am not a Barbie doll.
You have to go through the well that leads to the grand gallery. But instead of going straight ahead, like we did before, you have to turn right. A very narrow passage, and then another well that goes down 5 meters and leads to another vault. Let's go. The first well, the very narrow passage, and the second well.
So, I'll slip in there.
Welcome to the place of Iams. His name is inscribed on the lid of the sarcophagus. It is also intact. Tomb robbers failed to get all the way down here. Marie-Françoise applies a consolidating liquid. It will fix the paint weakened by humidity coming from the outside.
Look at all these colors that are popping up. The lotuses, the papyri, the roses. On his chest, there's the winged goddess of the sky, the goddess Nut. It's a real little wonder. Look how it comes to life. Look at the eyes surrounded by a line of eyeshadow that stretches to the temples.
The white, the yellow.
The mouth. Before the sarcophagus was placed in the tomb, it received the mouth-opening ritual. We see it in the scenes from the Theban temples. A mummy, a sarcophagus is standing upright, and the priest restores the dead's ability to use his senses. The priest touched with a small instrument the organs of the 5 senses.
At the foot of the sarcophagus stands a funeral box.
Then I gently secure the bird so that it doesn't fly away.
Yes.
It's extremely rare to find undamaged funerary furniture like that. That's the whole point of discovery. Because often, in museums, we have the boxes that are empty, that come from very ancient excavations, and we don't know at all what these boxes contained. It's coming, it's coming. Come on. Well, it's related to the embalming materials.
Lots of fabrics, there are cloths, maybe natron bags.
We're not sure.
Are you going to empty it out?
Yes, of course.
The box could contain one or several organs of the deceased. That's what we'll see a bit later.
Grab it from underneath, put one hand under it. That's it, Good.
Previously, Marie-Françoise had to recover something else, a funerary statuette. Originally, it was supposed to be installed on the lid of the sarcophagus.
It's very beautiful. Oh, there are the texts too, certainly with the name. It's beautiful. Don't use a brush on it before I've examined the text, because it's very raised. It's very raised, it's very difficult.
Does it have a sliding part behind? Because sometimes there's something inside. We can't see it, it's under the stucco. They get x-rayed at the Louvre. Well, it's impossible to say today.
Some of these statuettes, in the last centuries of pharaonic Egypt, opened at the back. Inside, there was a papyrus, an extract from the Book of the Dead. They symbolize three united gods by the side of the deceased. Sometimes, they were real works of art. The further excavation will demonstrate it.
What a wonder.
But right away, a new exceptional moment. A joint detailed examination of the funeral box. Francis is running the operations. Funerary furniture is his specialty.
I'm trying to slide my hand gently. There you go, it comes by itself.
Doesn't it look like a fishnet?
No, it's fabric.
It seems to be a simple piece of fabric.
It smells of herbs and resins. It's a mixture.
Because they used fragrant oils. Here it is 2,500 years later, and it still smells.
Yes, natural products.
In any case, it's something we've never seen before.
We don't know.
What's usually there? We don't really know. That's it. It's the first time in my life that I open a viscera box that's intact.
And made of wood.
And found on the ground.
I think there's something here. There are hard things underneath.
Here, show it to Christiane.
Fantastic. One jar and not four.
Let's see what's inside.
Why would there be 4 jars?
For each of the 4 organs, the kidneys, the liver, the digestive tract together with the duodenum, and then the lungs. It's stuck.
Because your hands are also in there. Try turning it.
Yes.
Because the jar might be irregular.
Yes, it is irregular.
We know that it's slightly egg-shaped.
Very good, very good.
So inside, there's a canopic package, that's for sure. There you go, don't move it, leave it like this.
Canopic package, meaning?
With viscera. There you go, there are the viscera. Sorry, I think he didn't take the photo. The viscera are there.
You have a small package there in the jar.
Yes, there you go. So now, there's another package, you see, it was molded. We can see very well that there was an organ. And a cloth. The cloth was rolled like a piece of cigarette paper, until it covered it. Then it was securely closed at both ends, that's it. And it was put in salt.
So, 2.
The third one.
Is that linen around it?
Yes, linen that looks quite thin.
It's beautiful.
You see, I don't know if it's in there. There is a liver and there must be a lung or 2 lungs. You see how it has been reduced over time, and especially reduced by the salts.
As soon as the operation is completed, they return to Iams.
And one for the head. The sarcophagus with the mummy plus the embalming products, bitumen, etc. It's very, very heavy. A mummy, although it's been eviscerated, is very heavy, like a living person. It weighs about 80 kilos, between 60 and 80 kilos.
So reinforcements are needed to move the sarcophagus. Now that it's in the center of the vault, Marie-Françoise can consolidate the other side of the sarcophagus, that was so far inaccessible. It's the last step before it will be opened. As for Cécile, she removes impurities from the shroud found inside the funeral box. It is made of linen, and it was blackened by the embalming products. It's the 12th working day. Today is the big turning point of this excavation campaign. The well that could lead to the entrance of the Grand Gallery has been reinforced. Its upper walls have been rebuilt. Now they can empty it and find out if Jean-Pierre won his bet.
There isn't much hope that this well connects to the big tomb. Well, that's something else. Another tomb, another surprise. Anyhow, this well leads to a tomb, definitely. A discovery awaits us. There will be a discovery, for sure. But it's completely unexpected. We expected it to connect to the big tomb. We'll know by the end of the afternoon. They've reached the 7 meters mark.
So, in a few hours, they'll have their moment of truth. Archaeology requires staying calm and patient.
So, I present to you the chai man. He's the tea man. He's the one who distributes tea among all the excavation site workers. Each one gives a pound, or I don't know how much. And they all contribute to have tea for everyone, all day long. They drink very sweet tea, which is not very good for your health. Because people in this country have serious issues with diabetes from a certain age. Because they drink it all day and therefore consume significant quantities of sugar. Very hot, it's boiling, they serve it boiling hot.
I will offer you tea every day.
It's the end of the afternoon. What Jean-Pierre feared is now a certainty. The well passes right next to the Grand Gallery, but it doesn't lead there. It goes down 3 meters lower. Jean-Pierre, followed by Francis, goes to take a closer look at it.
There's a chamber that's not very big. It's there.
Oh my, there is a large chamber on the right. You can clearly see the mummies.
What a twist. It's a new vault.
Oh wow. It's magnificent. The joys of archaeology. And doesn't stop there.
It has only just begun.
At the bottom of the first tomb, there's a passage dug out by looters during the Pharaonic era.
Are you breathing slowly? We might not have enough oxygen. There are galleries that go in all directions. Don't touch the ceiling. Do you see those stones there? They're just waiting to collapse. Even small pieces like that weigh 5 kilos, that'll hurt your head. If it's 5 kilos, that's fine. If it's 500 tons. This is extraordinary. Let's try to move forward.
We can't, it's too dangerous. But do you see the coffin there? There, they have slid the lid off, to empty the contents or steal them. In any case, you can see that. There's also a scree over there, and a huge part of the ceiling that fell. We're not going that way.
20 minutes later, the labyrinth leads to a huge hall. Here too, looters have ravaged everything.
Did you see that? Look above us, it's empty. Incredible. This thing can fall on our heads. If we start emptying that, the one who does that will fall. That's tough. We're not going to enjoy emptying the wells anymore. Are there exits in all these holes? Absolutely. Hold on.
All that Jean-Pierre found are 2 small pieces of funerary cartonnage.
All right, let's try to get out, because it's afternoon snack time. Very, very thin. They really shredded the sarcophagi.
It's unbelievable how lucky we are for having found the other untouched tomb.
If we'd found that, we'd stop digging and say, it's not worth it.
Everything is gone, torn to shreds.
That's rather fast. He is strong. Tell them not to leave right after you.
Initial assessment. The thieves have ransacked everything. The tombs and burial sites are so damaged that they are of little interest. By the way, Jean-Pierre is 67 years old.
It's dangerous. Because the ceiling is extraordinarily fragile, the stones can fall any moment, and you're going to change the air there. It stayed the same, dry and sterile, for over 2,000 years, and we introduce moisture into the clay. The limestone will cause the stones to expand and eventually fall, so if we want to collect some information there, we need to do it fast in the coming days. We're just going to widen the access to minimize the risk of passing through it and to avoid touching the ceiling too much. And we're going to see what information we can gather.
You saw a decorated wooden sarcophagus there. That is sitting on a disgusting mummy. In the big chamber on the left. Yes.
Oh yes, there's a big piece of ceiling that has fallen. I thought it was a sarcophagus lid.
Yes, there would be a wooden sarcophagus underneath.
Should we follow this trail or abandon it? It is now up to Christiane to decide. The response begins that very evening over drinks. A hotel room is used as an office to the whole team. Everyone meets there around 7 p.m. Jean-Pierre reflects on the day's event.
The back wall is by the cursed well. That's where it starts. There's a chamber here, a series of chambers with right angles. We're getting here, we've managed to get there. 1.5 meters to the south of the well, that's where it is, and then it goes on, but what matters to us is that the emptied well is somewhere over there, under the grand gallery. It's weird, it's underneath, but to the side, otherwise it'd go through it.
How many meters, 2 or 3? You don't know?
A little below, parallel to that one.
And in conclusion, what do we do?
Once we've located the well, we'll close it.
We're not going to explore all underground galleries of Saqqara.
If it wasn't for this empty well, we would have closed it right away. No, there are 20 years of work in there.
The conclusion is, Jean-Pierre will locate the dangerous well and the underground necropolis will be closed. The potential benefits are not worth the risk. It's too unpredictable. The next day, he gets ready to go down again. Meanwhile, the entrance to the first vault has been opened.
Oh, but it's already pitch dark. We go down to 10 meters. We come back here as if we were at home. A basket of scientific stuff.
Jean-Pierre takes the measurements of his route in order to draw up a plan of the necropolis. A nice surprise awaits him on his way.
Wow. Nice green color. A mask. Oh yes, very nice. There's a mask standing up against the wall, a very pretty mask. I'm leaving with my pilgrim stick. I'll go to the back wall and navigate from there.
We are now near the dangerous well. These measurements will make it possible to locate it with precision.
A bit more to the right. We're under the well. You don't want to stay here too long. You see, it's empty. It's okay. It's a subsidence. It's called a subsidence bell. It's when a cavity empties gradually, and the load falls, leaving this hole. And now, there's this cone in front of us. That's what fell out of the well. The tomb was recklessly dug. The guys underneath, who dug this gallery, cut into the well. Poof, it all fell on their heads. 2.93 meters. I'm going to get myself out of here. And I'm going to take a look at the subsidence. We're at the same time privileged, disappointed, amazed, fascinated, and frightened by everything we see around us, the things that no one else will see. This well will seal off the entrance to the vault, we'll fill it up, it'll be off limits and no one will enter it. Let's turn around. It's a pretty unhealthy place to be in. I don't like this passage at all. Not at all, not one bit. What a great job you do.
Still, it's frustrating that all this archaeological material is lost.
No, it's not lost, it's there, it has potential, it has archaeological potential, as in the other tombs that have never been opened, that may never be opened. Let's not be greedy. We have tombs that are so beautiful. We opened this well because we thought that it led to the tomb's end, to the Grand Gallery. We were wrong. In the tunnel, the well brushes against the end of the gallery, about 40 centimeters away from it, and continue further down. It's 10 meters deep, while our gallery is 7 meters 10. So that's it. Once we've opened it, we had to check whether it connects to the gallery, but it doesn't. We're in an underground network that's completely independent, and its size is unbelievable, just unbelievable. It's made entirely of clay.
This time, the story with the necropolis seems to be over, except for a new twist.
Careful, lift the basket.
And then, before going back up, Jean-Pierre asks the workers to remove the sand which remains in this first vault. Then, they can close it again. Ramadan and Abdel Nabi, the two well specialists, get to work immediately and reach the floor of the tomb. The soil is brittle, it crumbles. Another twist. Immediately, Christiane Ziegler goes down into the tomb.
What a surprise. It's splendid. It's splendid. With all these colors preserved. It is the first sarcophagus of this type that we've found in Saqqara. But that's archaeology. It's moments like this, the surprises. That motivates us as well. They say, we come to discover past civilizations. That's true. It's very important for science, but it's also about this intellectual adventure. You never know in advance what we'll find, and often what we find is much more interesting than what we had imagined. It's going to be, once we've cleared everything.
Christiane was right. This sarcophagus is only a first glimpse of the treasures from this new tomb. So, a quarter of an hour later,
there's a cavity underneath.
There is a hole.
It's very deep.
There's no need to panic.
It's beautiful, this sarcophagus.
What is it? It's a wooden sarcophagus.
Better than that one.
a huge sarcophagus 30 centimeters below the previous one. The problem is that both are stuck at the feet. They go through the wall of the vault and are trapped in the neighboring well. So they'll have to empty that well to get them out. As a precaution, the two sarcophagi will be buried under a thick layer of sand. It's the best way to protect them. The excavation is about to get a new twist. Meanwhile, the work in the Grand Gallery continues. Today, at the opening of the stone sarcophagus upon which Marie-Françoise and Christiane place some hopes. It might be very old, much older than those discovered so far in this collective tomb.
I'd love it to be from the Old Kingdom, but it's not at all certain.
What could we learn?
We could learn the information about how he was embalmed, perhaps. Because there are mummies from the Old Kingdom, very few, but one of them isn't far away, on the Unis Causeway, in the tomb of Nefer and Kahei, but they're very rare. And we can learn what items the dead took into the afterlife, which varied depending on the era.
Right next door, 100 meters away. Closed to the public for the past 30 years is the tomb that was just mentioned by Christiane Ziegler. Nefer and Kahei, one of the most beautiful tombs in Saqqara. We are inside of the funeral chapels, the place where the family would come to worship their dead. The vault 3 meters below still contains this exceptional mummy of the person who was buried here. This is not the body of the dead. It is located inside a plaster envelope, a real statue. Old Kingdom, this mummy is over 4,200 years old. That's what Christiane and Marie-Françoise would like to find. Sadly, it wasn't meant to be.
Are you disappointed that it didn't live up to the expectations?
We always have all these projects in our heads. We always want to find the impossible, so, naturally. But that's archaeology. You have to be humble.
A simple mummy and much more recent than expected.
Tomorrow will be another day. The next day we usually open another one. Yes, again and again, sarcophagi and mummies.
It's the year of the sarcophagi, the first year of the sarcophagi. It's hot.
The next day is, indeed, a big day in the tomb next door, around the sarcophagus of Iams.
Don't you have thinner ones?
Iams, son of Sanctiseneb. It's inscribed on the lid. These were very fashionable names in the 7th and 6th centuries BC.
Iams and Semitic are the names of kings who lived during the 26th dynasty. And it was traditional. It was considered good manners to name children after the reigning sovereign.
It helps us date them.
So it might be after the reign of Semitic, but that's unlikely. There is a wooden corner. There's nothing I can do. It bothers me.
That one is very beautiful. He's very well wrapped. It's not the same era.
The strip arrangement differs from the other one. It's much more neat.
It's not the same era, is it?
No, besides, he has an undergarment, it's completely flat, just there. Look beneath the bandages, these bandages secure a shroud. And then the bandages are crossed over to secure everything in place. It's very well done.
The next step is to X-ray the contents of the mummy. Jewelry and amulets could have been placed under the strips. Ehames will probably never return to the surface. The stone sarcophagus at the top of the well blocks the passage. The replica of the sarcophagus will be all the more valuable to archaeologists. Natalie devotes a whole week to making a life-size drawing of it. The drawing aids in discerning the details that have been partially erased. Once back in France, they'll be able to take their time to study this object. Friday is a day off. We're in the center of Cairo. There are errands to run at the excavation site.
We're in the fabric souk, but they also sell spices and hibiscus tea here. It's very good for people who have high blood pressure. It's a sedative. No, that's synthetic. We can't use that. It's nice for a dress, but it's not good for mummies at all.
For mummies, you need pure cotton.
It's 1.5 meters wide. 100% cotton from Egypt. That's expensive.
Yes. It's for the national mummies. Will he give us a discount?
38 per meter.
How much for 20 meters? 750? No, 750. We got a good discount.
How much was it?
We went from 800 to 750. At first, it was 760 and then we went down to 750.
Fabric for the mummies, but what purpose is it for exactly? The answer comes a few days later in the Grand Gallery.
We weave electrical wires. So which one are we going to take? It's like a game of Mikado in that if you take one, it might all fall down on us. We're going to end up buried under the mummies. So you have to think carefully.
Is it fragile?
A mummy breaks like glass. It's very fragile.
The famous sheets.
We're going to pack them up like that. It'll be somewhat tidier.
The mummies will be stored at the other end of the gallery. This way, they'll access to the objects that are on this side, and will be able to explore the next room. Its existence can be easily deduced.
It's for the next year.
A lot of things are.
There's still too much to do this year, not to mention what's yet to come. It's the 13th day of excavations, and it's time for a group photo.
So, who are we still missing? We have pretty much everyone. You need to tighten up a bit over there. Catherine, the one who's next to you must get a little closer. I can't see the basket mender. I'm going to try to get in there. I'll get on the side. Let's go.
They had to take the photo this afternoon because in the evening, Christiane has to go back to Paris and to the Louvre Museum.
I expect to have lots of drawings of texts of the sarcophagi and the ceiling.
Consider it done.
How long will you be away for?
A week. As soon as I turn my back, they find wonderful things. They're going to call me, saying they found a huge sarcophagus of the Old Kingdom in a vaulted room. Bye.
In Christiane's absence, the excavation will indeed experience new developments. Surprising discoveries will change the course of the excavation. So, the next morning, on the left is the well that leads to the two sarcophagi that have just been discovered. On the right, the nearby well, which must be emptied to get them out. It looks pretty good.
We're looking at 2 days of work.
2 good days of work non-stop. But it's sand, so it goes away very quickly.
Just 2 hours later, there's a small problem. Pieces of wood is lifted from the well, and it's unusual. Especially since these are sarcophagus fragments. And that's just the beginning. There come more. The quantity and quality of the fragments increases. Gradually, intact parts emerge from the rubble. What a twist. The team can't believe it.
That's beautiful, really beautiful.
It's exactly the same as on the viscera box, if you remember.
It is very beautiful. They're still high up in the well compared to the chamber that we need. So you can imagine that underneath, there are even more things. There's always more in the end.
The problem is that it's going too fast.
Not in the sun, please. Take it to the tents, please, or it'll break. The wood can't stand it.
It's complementary to the one over there.
The fragments need to be urgently evacuated and put in a shelter. Cecile and Sophie go back and forth. It's lunchtime. Suddenly, a policeman appears, with his weapon on display. Everyone here knows that beautiful objects will surface this afternoon. It won't stop until the evening.
The triumph of the day.
And gradually, over the following days, the fragments are reunited. Even entire sarcophagi are reconstructed. The problem is that now they must be conditioned and stored. That will require some creative thinking.
We are emergency conservators. That's good because it's a change from the museum life. All year round, we're in our cellars at the Louvre, working in silence.
As for the storage, Marie-Françoise and Catherine, who are both practical, have thought of a solution. They're in the village of Saqqara. In Egypt today, just like before, wood is rare and expensive. With one exception, the palm tree. Inexhaustible raw material, affordable price, and skilled workforce. In this workshop, they manufacture containers.
We are from the French mission. We need containers for sarcophagi.
We work in Saqqara.
I need 15 containers, 170 by 60 centimeters.
I can deliver them on Saturday.
Today is Tuesday and we will have our order on Saturday. Goodbye and thank you.
The order has been placed and the solution for storing sarcophagi found. Now the clearing of the well can be resumed. Just as Francis predicted, the most beautiful piece came at the end.
There's a nice mask there, it's very beautiful.
The pieces are. It's almost as if we arranged them like this, not just threw them together. Easy. Be careful.
It's beautiful.
Magnificent. Above all, it's almost intact. That's great. We like puzzles, but anyway.
The scene of the Last Judgment according to the ancient Egyptians. The colors are slightly altered. The sarcophagus is over 2,000 years old. A few hours later, the two adjacent wells are finally joined together.
Marvelous.
A few more meters left. It can be done in the afternoon. This forecast was immediately proven wrong. There were huge stone blocks at the bottom of the well.
That's like delivering a piano.
And obviously, it wasn't a coincidence. We're dealing with a real safe. After the nearby necropolis got looted, the intact sarcophagi were most likely gathered there.
They probably went through these numerous vaults and collected sarcophagi in good condition to group them in this single unique vault, after which they created this enormous kind of cork, very high and made of huge stones, to obstruct the two galleries. And then they put their fragments of sarcophagi that had been broken and pillaged. It's really a well-organized and well-designed hiding place. It wasn't done in a hurry or improvised.
The new setback, the stone cork, postponed the event until the next day. In the meantime, sarcophagus containers made of palm branches have arrived. Marie-Françoise is happy. Her little idea worked well. It's 7 a.m. The time has come. After a few minutes of work, the footbox of the first sarcophagus appears.
The sarcophagus goes like this, it's there. So, we already know that 30 centimeters below, there's this huge sarcophagus that will also be moved out like this and that should also end up in the well. So the two were positioned in the same direction. The head is facing the east and the feet are facing the west. There's something there, definitely.
Meaning, it's something really new.
Marvelous. Marvelous.
Hello, PSO.
PSO is an abbreviation that stands for
Ta, Soker or Sokerist, and Osiris.
3 gods in one.
Yes, 3 deities merged into one huge entity who's there to guarantee a rebirth to the deceased, together with all the items put in the tombs. There's no one behind.
this one. On the other hand, we've been expecting. This time, the rest of the sarcophagus is completely unobstructed.
It's a bit like a police investigation.
In fact, here, we observe without interpreting, we observe and try to see and write down as many things as possible, so that once we're back in Paris, we could try to find the answers to the questions.
It's like a crime scene here. These are the finishing touches. The way the sarcophagus was placed, as well as the box, the two ceramic items, the path, Soker, Osiris. There is a burial.
It expresses what happened and how to proceed.
Absolutely. It has the bottom part. There it is.
Christiane comes back in 3 days. Francis and Jean-Pierre will wait for her to empty this box filled with statuettes. These are ushebtis, literally replacements. They are also called funeral servants. In the afterlife, they serve the deceased and make eternal life easier. It's the 17th working day. The weather is getting worse.
It's the Khamsin. That means 50. And it can blow for 50 days, but not in a row. In the space of time, that is 50 days, during which we can have times like this. And it's dreadful. We find it very difficult to work.
The sand irritates the eyes. The heat is overwhelming. The excavation is slowing down, with one exception. Today, there's an event in the tomb excavated and studied by Guy. The mummies are now put away. Yesterday, he was able to uncover the first sarcophagus that a few days ago was buried under the bodies. Today, it's his neighbor's turn, the sarcophagus with the golden face.
We are going to discover what it truly looks like. We start with a nice scene along the sarcophagus, a small Osiris. There's a little golden Osiris, with a little pharaoh in front, who is doing an offering. And behind, we will find, probably, Isis. She's coming.
A scene decorated with gold leaf, like the character's face. Who exactly was he? It's a mystery. The hieroglyphs indicate his name, as it's used under the offering scene, but they are partly hidden by the layer of funerary resin.
We just need to discover this person's name, to give him back some semblance of existence.
The next day, they prepare for the opening. There's a new development at the excavation site. The big patron of Egyptian antiquities, Zahi, is back in Saqqara. Today, all the press is with him.
Lots of mummies. I think maybe this is the best mummy of the Ptolemaic period I've ever seen.
Congratulations. You've done a magnificent job. We were here 2 weeks ago. This room was full of mummies, and I could only see the faces of the sarcophagi. You've worked a lot to get here.
That day, within a matter of minutes, the wind turned into a storm. And the excavation shut down in a rush. Christiane Ziegler is coming back tonight. Her plane is expected to land in Cairo approximately at this time. The whole team is having a meet-up at Mohammed's place. He's one of the mission's drivers. It's a real feast.
Potatoes, onions.
Potatoes, tomato slices, then some onion and meat, and it all goes in the oven.
One per person. Did you think it was one for the table?
You must eat all of it.
The women spent the whole day, maybe longer, to prepare all this. 3 of them teamed up to stuff the zucchini and chop the onions. All this cooking is a considerable amount of work.
They're not here.
We'll see them at the end. I don't know if you'll be admitted, but we'll thank them and greet them.
When they receive us, they somewhat make themselves available to us. And they are happy to bring us the dishes, to serve us, and they don't eat the meal that they are offering us. It's a gift that they give us by providing us food, by taking great care of us. If they shared our meal, they wouldn't be able to take care of us too.
The bread is hot, just from the oven.
As an exception, the hostess greets the team after the meal. At 2200 hours, it's over. Tomorrow they've got a big day.
What has happened?
It was windy yesterday.
The wind must have been terribly strong. This tent has survived many years of it.
Christiane goes around the excavation site and first visits the tent where the fragments of sarcophagi are kept. Most are now neatly stored in their containers.
Look, the scales. It's amazing, amazing. But we don't have an equivalent one to complete it with.
There are complementary parts. We know that there are more pieces under the sand. The 4 sons of Horus are splendid, with a turquoise background.
The second step is the new discovery.
Splendid. Just splendid. Little scepters. They're well cleared. Little vases. Fantastic. And the box with the small funerary figurines, the ushebtis.
Careful.
The ushebtis. But how many are there in the box? Depending on the era, their number varies.
Are there a lot of them?
Yes, very many.
The box is full.
I've got to say, I enjoy doing this.
It's very rare.
Are we making a bet?
50, you say? Yes.
I'd say that there are easily 150.
Catherine, how many?
I don't know. More than 50.
Result, 131 undamaged funerary servants.
8, 10.
And just as many fragments.
Everything we have as funeral remains is normally of people from high society. So, they were used to a certain number of servants and people who do work for him.
And they wanted to keep it that way.
They hoped that the life they knew on earth would continue for eternity.
The ushebtis puzzle.
And in the meantime, in the grave, Cecile tries to remove the statuette.
It's stuck. The problem is that the sarcophagus slipped on the statue and blocked it.
That's it. You have to give up.
It's disappointing. Oh no, not at all. On the contrary, it proves that the statue is complete. One can imagine that even in this entry alone, there are other ones below. So, on the contrary, it's actually encouraging. Besides, it'll give us something to dream about over the coming months, while we'll be waiting for the next campaign.
A bit of consolidating liquid and it's done. Except for a new twist. One of the site managers doesn't share this opinion. He fears antiquities thieves. It's very unlikely, but they could break into the tomb. So, should they urgently remove the statuette and risk damaging it, or just leave it where it is? The answer:
It's impossible we leave it here. So it's not safety for security.
If we leave it here, if anything done, yeah, that's most problem for us.
I think it's difficult to go down.
No, not difficult. Not difficult.
Not difficult?
Not difficult.
The operation is certainly delicate. It will take more than an hour and a lot of precautions to remove the statuette.
Applause, congratulations.
There you go.
Relieved, Cécile.
Now it has to go up. It hasn't left yet. The face is gilded with gold leaf.
It has miniaturized decor of the sarcophagi.
Yes, the wig, he has the beard. There is the little Yusek collar.
There you go, that's it.
A small mattress.
At the last moment, the statuette comes out of the tomb.
Cécile with golden hands.
The latest twist of a campaign of exceptional excavations, and it promises many others. Besides this sarcophagus and the one that's just below it, there is no doubt a large quantity of funerary items at the lower levels. It will be left for next year. The next day, the tombs are refilled, and the well openings are sealed. The treasures of Saqqara waited several thousand years. What is an extra year on the scale of eternity?